They always called her quiet one. She never raised her voice, never argued, never interrupted. Her name was Rani. And in the world that praised loud sons and aggressive men, Rani was barely noticed. Even at home, her presence felt like a soft wind. Always there, never acknowledged. She wasn't angry about it, she was just used to it. But what no one knew was that behind her quiet eyes, she saw everything. In their small home, tucked behind a noisy Indian bazaar, life wasn't peaceful. Her father, once a loving man, now came home every night with alcohol on his breath and curses in his throat. Her two brothers, young and jobless, had learned from him to shout louder than the other to feel important, and her mother, tired eyes, shaking hands, worked three homes, feeding four mouths, and crying into the fifth cup of tea she made for herself each day. But Rani, she cooked, she cleaned, she went to school, and when the shouting started, she sat by the window watching the moon instead of reacting. They said she was too soft, that she would not survive the world, that she needed to speak up more. But Rani did not respond because her silence wasn't weakness, it was listening. One night, the shouting grew louder than usual. It started over something small, a missing 100 rupees note, a broken charger, a late dinner, but suddenly a glass broke. A chair was flung, and her father, trembling, intoxicated, clutched his chest and fell. The house froze. Her small mother screamed. Her brother stood paralyzed, fear overthinking their fury. And in that chaos, Rani stood. She did not scream. She did not cry. She walked over to the father, checked his pulse, and called the ambulance. Every word she spoke was calm, clear, exact. She gave the address. She told her uncle to bring water. She sat her mother down and rubbed her back gently. And when the neighbors gathered and whispers began, Rani turned to them and said softly, "Help is coming. Don't crowd, please." When the ambulance arrived, it was Rani who helped lift her father in. It was Rani who gave the police a detailed statement, and it was Rani who sat beside her mother in the hospital, holding her hand through the night. The next morning, the brothers who once mocked her silence sat beside her speechless. The mother who had always protected her now leaned on her daughter for strength, and the father, fragile and remorseful, whispered, "I never knew you were this strong." Rani did not reply. She just smiled, a small, tired, gentle smile. The days that followed were slow but healing. Her father entered rehab, her brothers found work at a nearby factory, and her mother finally started sleeping through the night. And Rani, she still did not talk much, but now when she did, everyone listened, not because her voice was loud, but because it carried weight, because it came from the place of understanding, of strength, of love without noise. People think strength is how loud you speak, how fast you react, how aggressively you fight back. But Rani taught us something different. She taught us that sometimes the loudest courage lives in silence. The leadership is not among commanding others, it's about calming chaos. And the quiet girls can save entire families. All they need is a moment to raise. Behind her quiet eyes lived the strength no one expected, but everyone needed. Share this if you know someone quiet who is stronger than anyone realizes. Subscribe to Behind Her Quiet Eyes for me for more unheard stories.